I recently saw that some volunteers were needed for a Marine's funeral. Someone was asking if anyone still fit their dress blues. I've been out for like 15 years, but I still pulled them out to see if I could help. They just barely fit. I've lost a lot of weight in the last year, not enough though. I liked being a Marine. I liked studying what we studied, doing what we did, going where we went, wearing what we wore. I like taking care of Marines. I'm, to understate the obvious, a rather different fella. Putting that odd energy into study, into danger, into teaching was powerful for me. I helped a lot, I'd like to think. I learned a lot, I'd also like to think. The quiet kid at age 17 was so different from the loud Marine at age 25 that I wouldn't have thought they were the same person if I hadn't been sitting behind the wheel. The Marine Corps is an impressive organization in that way. It builds functioning adults out of unfocused little shits. It takes people from every walk of life, people who would never have met and certainly not gotten along, and it melds them together into functioning groups that can get important work done without worry and without supervision. Can do. Will do. Not just words. Philosophy. Guiding principles. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I haven't posted one of these birthday messages in a while. I haven't even been on Facebook in a long time. If you know me, you know that I'm not exactly a social butterfly. It takes work for me to be active on social media, so it doesn't take much for me to find things that I'd rather be doing. For work, I recently returned to Camp Lejeune. In response to the obvious question a retired Marine asked, I had to think about how long it had been since I'd been there. About 20 years. It was good to go back. Lots had changed, lots had stayed the same. I don't want to spend too much time going into every detail. I want to talk about a few places I visited while I was there. I enlisted in 1994, which, now that I say that, gives me pause about how much time that is. The world has changed. The country has changed, and I've changed. People tend to think that however you are when they meet you is exactly who you have always been. They cannot see the journey you have been on to arrive at that present person. They cannot see the evolution that has taken place. Unless, of course, you have done no evolving, in which case they are correct. In 1995, a bunch of us waiting for our class to pick up were assigned to camp guard. My job was to stand guard at the Beirut Memorial and the adjacent cemetery from 2200 to 0200. I remember falling asleep while walking and catching myself before I hit the ground. I think the only worst watch was the one right after mine. I'm glad I was there. It's an important memorial. Marines honor their dead, even our peacetime dead. I visited the Beirut Memorial outside of Camp Johnson and found that the memorial had been expanded into Memorial-Gardens. It now includes the Vietnam Memorial, the 9/11 Memorial, and the Montford Point Memorial. There's even a small placard in a prominent spot that offers acknowledgement of the people who once lived on the land that were forcibly removed to make way for the base. The 9/11 Memorial had a steel beam from the World Trade Center. Marines and firefighters are a close community. You could reach out and touch it. Probably shouldn't. People who study history, who see how a thing here or there played a part in grand events, are awed to be near a crusty musket ball, a rusty bayonet, or a melted piece of steel. The Vietnam Memorial was an open dome. White noise from falling water muffled distractions, surrounded by frosted glass plates that ran higher than your head. Each plate listed names of dead Marines. Each plate was filled, top to bottom and side to side, with names. So many names. Too many names. As I neared each plate, from just the right angle, I could see a faint, ghostly reflection of myself among those names. And then there was the Montford Point Memorial. I was told that it was here, and I'm glad I went to see it. I'm still surprised. I learned about the Montford Point Marines fairly early on in my career. They were the first black Marines, and, of course, they were not permitted to train or serve with white Marines. They were treated like they were under the trash can, to make them quit, but they made it. And they left a legacy. And the Marine Corps saw its error, integrated its units, built this memorial to them, built a museum about them, and made a documentary honoring them. There are still a few Montford Point Marines left out there. There's even a movie in the works. Black Boots. Look it up. I hope it gets made while the survivors can still see it. The Marine Corps is not what any rational person would call socially progressive. They were the last branch to admit black people and women, and homosexuality was met with a lot of scorn. They don't open doors because they're nice. If you get to be a Marine, it is because you earned it. I follow @Marines on Instagram. They post, Marine shit. If you don't like guns, helicopters, martial arts, and hoorah shit, then it isn't for you. But they post everyone. Everyone. It's not a sterile World War II poster. It's everyone. Doing all the things. They even posted a rainbow stack of ammo tucked into a helmet band for pride. If you want to know how to face your complicated history, the pretty and the ugly, this is how it is done. The Marine Corps is not confused. It knows what's important. It knows what it's fighting for. It's fighting for you to choose what's right for you, and is giving you the freedom to defend it. If that looks like pouring milk over a bowl of crayons, then pass me a spoon. Marines set the example everywhere they go. Marines who went to boot camp on the East Coast or the West Coast have no truck with each other. Marines who grew up in the country or the city have no truck with each other. Carry your pack and your weapon. Show up when someone needs you, and treat everyone else in this uniform and everyone protected by this uniform like they grew up in your house. That is the Marine Corps. That is my Marine Corps. Happy birthday, Marines. Keep setting that high standard.